Hey everybody, Terry here again, and I decided, I think it's been about a year since I started the vape experiment, and to be honest, I did have to stop for a little bit because it turned out I was having a bad reaction to the PG. I didn't know that's what it was at first. I was just having a lot of trouble breathing. So I ended up having to go to the doctor, blah, 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 blah. Turns out that I do have a mild allergy to PG, so anytime I use anything that's not max VG, I end up having trouble. So I had to stop for about a month, but I started up again, getting back to it. That was the biggest thing that I had trouble with, and that happened at just about the 7-month mark. So month 7, I didn't do any vaping. After that, I started again. So I didn't even know that that was a thing, to be honest, being allergic to PG like that. But apparently I am, so that really sucked. Other than that, I am still doing it, still vaping. This is my Sigelli 150, and I've only had this thing up to 150 watts once. Don't intend to do that again. That was insane. Felt like I was drowning, you know? It was crazy. But on it, I have got my Mutation V4. And it's not a big build in there, about a 6 wrap, 24 gauge. And I'm actually vaping Stone Monkey Mayhem. It's pretty good stuff, really. I mean, it's a little bit like caramel apple. Pretty nice. But that's kind of my mainstay there. So I've been using a lot of it. Right now I'm rocking it at 90 watts. But yeah, this is pretty cool. I mean, yeah, I do use dip and stuff to kind of cut things up, so I'm not using this all the time, because I still have trouble if I use it like constantly like I was. Because before I had completely cut out dip, I had cut out everything, and then I started having trouble. So when I quit this, I used dip, and I ended up smoking again. But I used dip and snuff to substitute the nicotine. But I find that I can use my vape if I have something to cut it up throughout the day, because my nicotine intake is like ridiculous. So, but yeah, it's, and this is 12 milligram, by the way. Yes, I'm dripping it. I know. Blah blah blah. I've heard it all. Anyway. Anyway. All in all, it's going pretty good. I still end up with kind of a coating on my throat, and you end up having to drink more because of it. That's not necessarily a bad thing. My lungs are clearing up compared to what they were, but they still got a long way to go. I mean, I mucked myself up doing this, only the vape, all day long and every day. And I was vaping pretty hard. I was going through 30 milliliter bottle, excuse me, in about 3 to 4 days. And for me, that's smoking a lot more than I was on cigarettes, so that was no good. But yeah, I like this unit, the Sigelli unit. I really like this unit. I did end up getting a mech mod, which I was not thrilled with. They were the tubular mechs, and I wasn't real thrilled with it. I prefer a box mod. And I may get another partial mech mod that's a box, and just to try it out because it's not very expensive, but I like this. Not bad. And my wife even likes the smell of it and everything. So it's all good. Anyway, the plus part of it was, as I told you before, at first it seemed like my lungs were beginning to clear out and heal. Then over the course of the winter, constantly vaping. And I mean, I would chain hit for like 5-6 hits in a row, set it down, about 10 minutes later, same thing. I mean, it was nuts. That's a bad idea as it turns out, at least for me. It really mucked up my lungs, made me all congested and clogged up. So it wasn't a good idea. Now, as long as I use vape and split it up with my nasal snuff and my dip, I'm usually all right. I don't have any real trouble. And I have been coughing up a lot of stuff since I started again. And I think that's that other stuff that I was congested with coming up. So it's not really that fun. And for you single guys out there, it's not that attractive either. So, I would kind of think about that. Anyway, yeah, it's been really interesting and very educational. And probably if my nicotine intake was not as high as it is, I wouldn't have had nearly the problem. But I do have a ridiculous nicotine intake. Dip, nasal snuff, I mean, it's goofy stupid, okay? And I'll be the first one to admit that. Everything's been going pretty good around here. We've closed down one motel, gone all the way over to the other until September 4th, at which time we'll close that one down, and my wife will be the only one working here, my wife and I. And we'll just be renting a few rooms here and there, try to maintain at least 5 rooms a night. If we can't maintain that, we'll shut this place down. Simple as that. But I am also looking into actually going and getting my general contractor's license and starting back in on construction. I mean, I've done it since I was a kid, literally like 5 years old, working with my dad, but I've never had the general contractor's license. I've done it all as far as building houses, and I've built houses that will not fail. I mean, their great-great-grandchildren can grow up in that house, and they'll only have to do minimal maintenance. But I've never actually had the license. So I'm going to go and get my general contractor's license and start advertising all over the state. If I can do that, I'm going to start a second channel. That second channel, the whole point to that will be going over the different builds, the different jobs I get, what things look like when I get there, what things look like when I leave, in the process throughout. So it ought to be kind of fun. I mean, I'm going to do my best to make it really fun, at least for me. But yeah, it'll be definitely interesting because lately, the last few years, the only real construction jobs that I've got have been remodels, and you run into all kinds of crap on a remodel that you would never dream of building the house initially. Just so many mistakes that it's not even funny. Wiring, point load support, everything. So, I mean, you really run into a lot of things that you normally, when you're actually building the house initially, you would be like, there's no way we're going to do it this way, not that way, because that way is stupid and wrong. I've run into wiring problems, structural problems, foundation problems, plumbing problems. You know, I ran into one place where, you know, right where they're supposed to have point load support, they ran a 4-inch septic line right through the beam. And then they wondered why it was breaking, why the beam was breaking. Gee, I wonder. Anyway, but yeah, I'll be doing a second channel if I can get my license, which I know I can. It's just a matter of timing. But if I can get my license, or I'll just say when I get my license, I'll be opening up a second channel and starting that. And that'll have all the different media that goes with it. You know, Facebook, Twitter. I might actually break down and do an Instagram. But yeah, I think it'll be kind of fun, and it'll be informational for anybody who actually watches it, to see how things need to be done and the specific way we do things up here, because everywhere is different. But I think it'll be really neat. As far as my vape is concerned, I'm still vaping. I'm going to keep vaping until I can't anymore. And I enjoy it. So anyway, everybody, that's enough chattering back and forth. So this is Terry. Y'all take care.